Hi, this is Harsh on a splendid Wednesday. I hope you're having a good week so far. There is so much noise in the world that it is hard not to drown in the sea of competition. There are insanely talented and hardworking people who are trying to make it. But in the process of trying to make it, a lot of people forget the reason why they started in the first place. Even the people who attain a little amount of success end up forgetting their beginnings. They end up becoming people pleasers and allow the crowd to control what they should be doing instead of what they want to do. How does one adapt to an ever-changing world that does not sleep? Why do we push ourselves to please everyone around us but forget that when we first started, we had no one but ourselves? Joining me for this episode is one of my really good friends, Anirudh, who I would say is the definition of consistency. I met Anirudh in the first year of my college life, and anyone who met him would agree with me when I say that he was always surrounded by music. You could spot him from anywhere because he had these big red headphones around his ears all the time. Anirudh is a multi-instrumentalist, and every time he makes music, you just know that he's enjoying himself more than anyone else. There's just something beautiful about watching this guy make music. A bundle of different talents all clubbed into a single person. Hey, hi Anirudh.
Hey, hi Harsh.
Thanks for being a part of my podcast today.
Thanks for having me on your podcast. Been listening to it, and you've got a listener in me for sure.
Dude, actually, I was quite nervous with this episode because it's the first time I'm having a guest speaker in my podcast. And when I was thinking about it a couple of weeks back, I didn't know whom I would call. But I thought of you and I texted you the same day, and you said you were up for it. I appreciate that, and I'm happy you're here. So how are you today?
I'm doing great. This is the first time that I've actually picked up my microphone to record my own voice, so it kind of feels weird. Anyways, I'm really excited to share my experience with learning different instruments and music. So let's go.
Yes, indeed. First things first, I'm amazed with how you managed to learn so many different instruments. You can play the guitar, from lead to bass and everything in between. You play the mouth organ. You can play the keys, and I know that you're learning saxophone as well. I won't be surprised if I missed anything. How is it that you encourage yourself to keep learning new things?
Yeah, so my grandmother was a Carnatic singer and a violinist, and my dad sings and he can play a little bit of rhythm guitar. So I grew up watching them, and I absolutely fell in love with music and the process of learning a new instrument. So I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I was in 10th and it was 2015, and up till then I had spent 2 years learning the violin and 3-4 years playing the keyboard. And this particular year I remember we got a really nice sound system which had this beautiful subwoofer, and I remember listening to these low frequency notes and wondering what it really was, because I didn't know that there was an instrument called the bass guitar up till then. And it really got me intrigued, because it was giving this beautiful percussive effect with the melody. And I did a little bit of research and got to know that there's an instrument called the bass guitar. And the thing that I love the most about the bass is that it kind of matches my personality.
Oh yes, it does.
You know this better than anyone.
Yeah.
I'm a shy guy, and I don't really like the spotlight. And I'll work behind the scenes and I'll get the job done. And that's what the bass is all about. It's not an instrument that's on your face. Rather, it subtly blends with the background, and if you remove the bass from a song, it sounds plain weird. But when you add it, it sounds absolutely beautiful. So, I just fell in love with this instrument. And this was actually the first time that I asked my dad and, told him that I wanted to learn this instrument. And he was pretty happy. And at the time, he was posted in Kashmir, and he was still serving in the army. And it was a field posting, meaning that we couldn't stay with him. So he told me that he'll get me the instrument in a couple of months, and we went to visit him for a month or so.
Okay.
And I had absolutely nothing to do over there. It was just an army cantonment surrounded by mountains. You couldn't go out, and my parents hadn't given me a phone till I reached engineering, right? So I didn't have a phone. And looking back at that, I'm really thankful that they didn't give me one. So the only thing that I could do over there was fool around with my dad's old guitar. And up till then, I tried the guitar plenty of times, but I just couldn't play it. But this time, there was absolutely no distractions whatsoever, and I spent the entire day trying to figure out the instrument. And to my surprise, after 30 days, I was actually able to play something.
This is like the prime example of how if you take away all the distractions from your life, you end up having so much time in your hands and you can do so many creative and beautiful things out of it. And in today's world, the biggest distraction is the phone. It makes me wonder, that if people didn't spend so much time on their phones, we would be having so many more artists and less keyboard warriors. Anyway, what happened next?
So this desire to play bass got mixed with the desire to play the guitar as well. So as time went by, I played bass and simultaneously, I wanted to practice guitar. So that's how I got into the instrument. I mean, both of the instruments. And from there on, I had this confidence that, if I wanted to play something, I could play it. And that's how I've picked up the mouth organ and recently the saxophone, because I have that confidence that I can learn these instruments. And there's a list of instruments that I want to try now, and hopefully I'll get into all of that. But the main goal for me is to be, pretty good at one instrument, which happens to be the guitar and the bass.
Right.
And to try as many instruments as I can, and be kind of okay at it. So learning a new instrument is something that helps me completely forget what's happening around me, and that's what I love the most about this entire process.
Wow. It's very wholesome to hear this. I mean, it started from your grandmother to your dad, and you are carrying the legacy. Even your brother's into music. Your whole family is surrounded by music, and there can be nothing better than bonding through music. I think I'm secretly a little jealous about you and your family, because if I had such inspirations in my family, it would have been amazing. Because I'm interested in music as well, but sometimes I find myself losing motivation and I feel lost. One of the biggest reasons to get demotivated while learning something is because you don't get appreciated. You don't get enough attention that you crave, and that kind of pushes all of us one step behind. So I want to ask you, how is it that you managed to keep yourself encouraged? There would have been times when you put a lot of effort into some of your covers and you expected it to blow up, but it didn't. So how do you deal with it?
Yeah, so if that was the case, I would have stopped posting on Instagram a long time back.
Exactly. Which is why I'm calling you the definition of consistency. It's wild how you keep going.
I basically try to learn and record songs that can help me get better at my instrument. And sometimes these songs might be the popular ones out there, sometimes they might not be. So I can't expect my covers to blow up.
Yeah.
But that's never been the goal for me since day one. The reason why I joined Instagram in the first place was the kind of connection you have with these great musicians over here. It's absolutely insane, right?
Yeah.
The probability of them seeing your covers is actually pretty high.
Yep.
And you get to interact with all these amazing musicians, and that's the only reason why I joined Instagram.
This is a very different perspective compared to how a lot of people use social media. Most of us use Instagram to check who's having a good time, who's partying, who's traveling. But now when you think of it, this perspective changes everything. The good side of social media, where artists are able to publish whatever they want freely, and the chances of a celebrity or your favorite artists looking at it and appreciating it is also high compared to not having a chance at all.
And if my goal was to get more reach, I would have done what the algorithm wants me to do, which is basically record something for 20 seconds and post it on Reels, but that's not my thing. I need that personal satisfaction, and I can only get that if I record something for at least a minute or so. So, if you genuinely like what I post on Instagram, only then like it or comment or whatever. And if you have some suggestions or want to be a critic, I'll be even more happier. Because Instagram gives this fake perception that you're really good at what you do, and I know that I have a long way to go before I can call myself a pretty good guitarist or whatever. So I just want to use this platform to help me develop as a musician, that's all.
That's actually very true. Instagram makes you believe that you're good only if you get the numbers. But the truth is that there are a lot of amazing artists around us and we don't recognize them. We only recognize the people who are on Instagram, who are following the algorithm and just blindly doing what is required. They're not doing it for themselves. So Anirudh, I think I really want to know how you stay consistent. You post every 2-3 days, or maybe you take a break, but you do come back and you keep posting regularly. So has it become a part of your lifestyle now that whenever you have free time, you spend it doing what you love?
Yeah, exactly. It has become a part of my lifestyle, and I don't really ask myself why I want to do it, but it's something that I just have to do,
Yeah.
And I don't really have any expectations from music, as far as making it is concerned, because when you decide to go all out on your craft, there's a lot of risk involved in it, and when you see people failing at it and they kind of develop a hatred towards their craft, it's really sad to see, but that's the risk factor in it, right? So that's not something that I really want to do as of now. And like you had mentioned in your previous episode, how sometimes all you crave for is that stability and parallelly do what you love.
Yeah.
And I'm in that zone right now, and I absolutely love it. Probably in the future I might go all out in music, who knows, probably open a studio or something, I don't know.
I'll join.
The door's always open.
Yeah.
So music is something that I need to get through each day, and I have absolutely no expectations from it whatsoever, and I know that I'll be playing music for the rest of my life.
You're spreading facts, bro. Anyone who's going to listen to this episode is going to go away with so many takeaways. Just knowing that there are people around you, your friends actually, who have such beautiful outlook towards life is very motivating. I did mention at the start how you make music for yourself rather than others. How important do you think it is to do it for yourself?
I think it's the key, right? Even in my case, I tried guitar plenty of times, but all those times when I picked up the guitar, I really don't know why, what the goal was. But finally, when I did in 2015, the only, purpose I had was to entertain myself and to keep myself occupied. So, yeah, I strongly believe that, if you want to be good at something, you have to do it for yourself. So, if you're all alone in your room and you're playing your instrument and there's a smile on your face, then you're on the right track. And I really don't like to use the term practicing. When you're really in love with your instrument, you would like to call it spending time with your instrument, and as you progress, you'd see yourself spending more and more time with your instrument. And as a musician, only if you're satisfied with what you're doing can you make other people happy. So let that be the primary goal, that when you pick up your instrument, the main purpose is to entertain yourself and to make yourself happy.
I love how you're subtly spitting facts. And I have a lot of things I can take back from this conversation. Mainly, I love how you differentiated between practicing and spending time. It might feel like the two words are almost the same, but it makes a huge difference. We need to treat our passions, our hobbies, and our habits the same way as we treat relationships. We need to spend time on them just like how we would spend time on our relationships. We need to put hard work, we need to build consistency, we need to put effort every day. Because if you want to be a star to everyone else, you've got to become your own star first. Before making music for a bigger audience, you need to make music for yourself. That's what Anirudh is doing, and that's what I take away as the biggest lesson from this episode. Doing it for yourself overpowers everything else, and in due time, you will get the recognition and credit that you deserve. But if you're running behind what others think and whether you're getting the attention you deserve, you'll have to keep running for the rest of your life. Again, Anirudh, thank you for joining this episode. I really love this episode. I think it's my best one so far because for the first time, I'm listening to someone else talk and I was getting tired of my own voice. But yeah, a lot of good things have been spoken today, and I think the people who are listening will also have a lot to think about. I kind of know that it wouldn't have been easy for you to open up about everything, but the fact that you did is greatly appreciated. And this has been the longest episode we've had so far. The podcast is called Within 5 Minutes, but I'm really happy that we could have this for like a whole 15-20 minutes. And we've covered so many different things, so many takeaways, so many lessons. I'm really grateful, and I'm sure everyone else is also happy to know your story, how you started, how you kept going, and how you're still going. And whoever's interested to listen to his music, you can follow him on his Instagram handle. I'm going to be writing his Instagram handle on the description of this episode. So feel free to check out his beautiful videos. I really love it, and thanks again for joining. And I will see you soon. We're both in Bangalore now, so hopefully we can catch up real fast.
Thank you so much for having me, Harsh. Me 4-5 years back, I didn't really, like having long conversations and talking to people. And one of the reasons why I'm able to do this is because meeting people like you through music and getting to be in a band and interacting with different people. So I'd love to do this again, and all the best for your podcast, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, we're definitely having another episode in the future with you again. And thanks, Anirudh, and thanks to everyone who has tuned in for this episode. This episode is really very special to me, and I hope we've given you something to think about today. If you like the content, make sure to listen to the next one. Bye bye.